Okay, so cut off there a little bit. And then it occurs to me, I want to say, so one thing about me is, okay, I like to put things in a self-effacing way. So let me just be explicit for those that don't know. I don't tend to have a very strongly high opinion about self-help as an industry. But I kind of like self-improvement a lot. So, there's the conundrum. Now, my bias, or even let's just call it bigotry again, which I call it that because I don't approve of this opinion that I find myself having and having had for a long time and indulging in the past, is that, the self help industry, it's good that people want to improve themselves, but its self help industry attracts people, sort of beginner enlightenment, you know, and traps people in that sometimes. Things that feel like enlightenment that aren't. And people get trapped in that. Okay, but in looking into this and seeing the people, um, there's a lot of people as well, besides that type, that are good self-actualized people, and it for them it's just that it costs them almost nothing to read a book, uh, maybe spend 20 hours reading a book. If they read something in that book for 15 minutes that's worth enacting, they know they can make that good use of that. People that aren't self-actualizing couldn't. So that book is pointless. The 15 minutes they actually enjoyed, they're not going to enact. It's still pointless. Okay. So now this is a different perspective. This is like, well, there's people out there that already know how to self actualize, that can spend 20 hours doing something, get 15 minutes of it, that they realize we want to enact that. The other stuff, heard of it, tried it, don't like it. This 15 minutes, I'm going to enact this. These people are looking for toolkits. And that makes it an interesting industry just because it is an industry. I mean, the academic industry of philosophy, academic philosophy. Interesting, but it's not as pervasive. The self help idea goes out and deals with people that want to use an idea to live their everyday life. A problem with academic philosophy is got a lot of philosophy where people don't bother to enact it in their everyday life, and that's pointless. You know, that they think that they can just do this as an activity where their ideas interact with other ideas, but not with their own life. And so that's why I'm on that question. I'm wondering too if my idea should be structured in a way that is, that deals with that desire to get those toolkits from that kind of perspective. Because I don't like the way the enlightenment industry charges. I don't understand why if they're producing enlightenment, why they don't give it away. Figure out a way to charge on the premium. Give their books away and charge for the hardbound edition, um, or or they have some sort of meditation kit that flickers lights in your eyes. Then publish the design so people can build it themselves and sell the pre-built one, and these kinds of things. If they were really into that, and it sort of gets me that because now my negativity about that industry, thinking just about how positive the people are that are trying to get something from it. Um, it seems like an injustice, like the fact that we're wasting our energy there. It's like with churches and spirituality. To me, spirituality is very important. When I drive through all these little towns in America, everywhere you go, there's almost, there's one hardware store and six churches. This is a lot of effort and energy being spent on a kind of spirituality that I don't think is getting people anywhere. Not most of them. Maybe 3,000 years ago, it was just what the doctor needed, and we had to wait for it and got it. And okay, now, and people could get something from it. I don't think right now people aren't getting much from that, and it's wasted. And so that still bugs me about the self help industry. It's like the similar kind of thing. It's like wasted spiritual energy, wasted billions of dollars of material uh, value put into a wasted kind of multiple examples of spiritual energy that is spent in futility, not achieving what that urge is meant to achieve for animals like us. Makes me think that something should be done about it. And it's especially good that I have my own career that I enjoy. because it's possible that with Lulu and YouTube and self-funding websites, that we could do something here where it's all about giving these ideas away and giving these toolkits away. You know, a think tank that creates ideas that people can go and actually use. Because, you know, obviously the mixture of capitalism and this enlightenment, selling of enlightenment, there's something wrong about that, even if it's real enlightenment, especially if it's real enlightenment. You know, somebody really has a real enlightenment and it costs you $1,000 for every 3-day session to fucking learn it. There's something seriously wrong with that. So that's the other thing, in the sense that there's a sense of like, oh, Piro's thinking he'll go in and, you know, Piro's going to pull an L. Ron Hubbard and start a religion because he wants to reform religion. Uh, Not really. I'd like to break that down. I don't think that's the way to well, I hesitate to say it's not a way to make a living. People should be able to make a living. You should be able to be a rabbi. Everybody thinks you know tons of shit about Torah and they want to hear what you have to say. Great. Good job. Wonderful. I know somebody makes a living as a singer. It's all good. But somehow you have to want to give this stuff away. You have to want to help. You want to have to want to provide people with spiritual or other intellectual tools directly. You have to want that directly. You know, you can't want it through profiting through the way you can shine in your own life and shine multitude on your own material situation. You know, so I mean, there's ways to structure making a living where, um, you know, it's like churches. Like I'm complaining about churches, but you know they take voluntary funds. You can walk into a church and just listen to that guy. If he has some spiritual knowledge for you, you just walk in on his Saturday or Sunday, and boom, he'll let you do that because it's in the model. So at least it's got this model. Whereas the self-help industry, well, more modern, incorporating a world's worth of ideas and a lot of good things like this. I don't know. There's a lot of wanting to charge you and the premium for this, and you know, I don't know. I think there's open source philosophy out there that's better than that. It's better than that. Maybe it should be packaged up in a way that it can be consumed easily and known easily, or something. I don't know, but. But the real problem is that I don't think that my view, like relativistic skepticism, isn't a self-help view, even though it can make you feel tranquil, because it's like the reality. Let's say you have a compound, and maybe it's that the zombies have come, and you're in a compound, and you have like this grainy security cam, and you see a figure inside the boundaries, inside the walls of your compound. There's a grainy reality to that realization. You don't see it very clearly because it's just a grainy security cam, but there's sort of a raw reality where you know what's really going down. You don't have great visual information. You're not having the immediate information, and yet in your heart, you know, just as if it's someone standing right there, you know, that some reality is going down. That's what relativistic skepticism makes the whole world seem like. That there's this reality going down, and you accept, oh, my family's all crazy nutcases, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm going to be okay with that. But as a result, you see this just grainy reality that makes you all the more want to do something about that and help people and help to heal them or do whatever it takes to solve the actual problem. Your acceptance of the way things are makes it so simple to solve. You see, if they would just accept things the way they are, they could just solve. You see, they have other ideas that if they interacted with an honest acceptance of the way things are, would solve it. So it doesn't necessarily make you super happy, because if you do this, that you take down the blinds and the world is burned up and full of sad, depressing problems just that not only are tragic but don't need to be.